Welcome to the farm. My name's Josh, and this is Brave Bear Farm. All right, so this is Brave Bear Homestead Channel's first ever YouTube episode. I'm really excited to get started. Today we're going to give you a quick walkthrough and tour of what's going on our farm and just kind of tell you about us and who we are. So we are the Barnetts. There's 7 of us. We have myself, my wife, 5 children. We range from age 15 down to our youngest turned 5 today. About 3 years ago, I got the idea and notion that I might want to farm. So I turned to YouTube and started following guys like Justin Rhodes, Daniel Arms, Roots and Refuge, and really figured out that, you know, this is something that I really wanted to do. So we did like 2 years. I did 2 years worth of research, and I say research, most of it was done on YouTube. That's kind of why it's inspired me to start my own channel and try to give back as much as I can. And it took us like 2 years to get to the point where we finally bought our house, got out of the suburbs, and started a farm. So last year we bought a place. We've got 9 acres here. We actually had to renovate the house. The house was in poor condition. We spent 3 months in a pop-up camper in the front yard. So I have no doubts that my wife loves me, because she lived in a pop-up camper with 5 kids for 3 months. So most guys may not have that confirmation, but I do. So I'm excited about that. As far as the YouTube channel goes, I'm really inspired by guys like Justin Rhodes and Daniel Arms. And I've really enjoyed Daniel's episodes and just how transparent that guy is, and even Justin's the same way. But I've been able to learn and glean so much from YouTube, and so I kind of want to be able to give back to YouTube as well, and to the viewers, and be able to create that community that I see some of those guys having with their subscribers. So hopefully we create kind of a new family here at Brave Bear that we extend to all of you guys. So with that said, I want to kind of walk you around the farm some and show you some of the animals that we've got. So my real estate agent was a really good friend of mine before he was my real estate agent, but he actually got me started with my first animals, and he made me a farmer because I bought the land but didn't have necessarily anything to farm. These ladies were the first animals out on my farm. It's I think that's Bella, and this is Snow, and maybe the other way around. But these were our first 2 animals. They were sheep. I was not necessarily planning to do sheep, but turns out I really like these sheep. These are Catadin sheep, so they're hair sheep. They shed. I didn't want anything to do with wool, to be honest with you. I'm not a, seems to make money with wool, you've kind of got to do it all yourself, and I'm not a craftsy guy, so I didn't want to do that. So these are meat sheep, and as you see, these girls are getting pretty big. So but this girl right here is May. She was born in May of this year, and she is the first animal that was born on our farm. So that was really cool. So this area here is my garden area. So Greg Judy would probably keep these sheep out on pasture all year long. I don't quite have the grass for that yet, and I'm working on it. So what I'm doing is bringing them back to the farm, more like a Justin Rhodes might do, and putting them here on the wood chips, and then I'm feeding them hay, and I give them a little bit of grain just for treats. But really, hay is their main diet, and that's their little hay feeder for the sheep here. But as you see, I got the Premier One netting, which works pretty good. I normally am moving this all across this hillside and all this land over here. This, when we purchased this last year, was absolutely 100% covered in kudzu, every bit of it. all the way back, all the way to the end back there. And they have just demolished that kudzu and pushed it back. Now, some of that kudzu will come back in the spring when it starts getting warmer. It'll start coming back up. And that's fine. I'm okay with that because it's a great food for my animals and it grows fast and they eat it fast. So it's actually a superfood. So it's really good for them. It's very high in protein and is really good for the sheep, even the ewes when they're pregnant, and the goats when they're pregnant. It's good food for them. Normally I would need to feed them a better, higher protein feed, but when they're out there on that kudzu, it's all they need. So in here, I mixed them with the chickens. These are new chickens. They just came to our farm, literally last week. So, these are Rhode Island Reds. So we got the one little Bantam rooster. There he goes. Really didn't want to ban him, but, somebody gave him to us. And he's actually a pretty cool little bird. My son calls him Banshee. But these are his 10 roosters. These girls are kind of in quarantine right now. I didn't mix them with my other birds yet. I may end up just taking a few from these and putting them with some of my other birds. But for now, they're all in here with the sheep and goats. They can kind of come and go as they want. But they, again, they're in here prepping my garden area. So between them and the sheep and goats, I got them in here, and we're going to do a light till in the springtime just to kind of till this manure and all this stuff that they're all laying down, to try to till that in, and hopefully we'll have a much better success this year. Last year, I've got a local guy that brings me wood chips, and I just dumped them right here. And I probably shouldn't have done that because I got really big chips and it didn't work out really well for me. I'm sure that was too hot for the soil. Some of you guys can help me because this is where I'm definitely going to need help because, like I said, I'm not a gardener, but I'm trying. I'm getting there. But as you can see, some big chips, but it's looking so much better than it did before. I mean, you can get in here and you can see some good soil down here. So we're getting there. But it's looking much better. So, but this is the chicken coop that I just kind of made out of a doghouse. A buddy of mine actually bought this for me. His name's Craig. You'll hear a lot about Craig. Craig and I work together to do a lot of different things. We actually processed some meat chickens this year together. Craig and I work together at my in-town job, and he just bought a house. He's got a little more land, so he's going to be able to do some more stuff, but he didn't have as much room to do stuff as I do, so we kind of work together to get some of the things we want done out here. But in here, I just made a couple of roosts across the chain link there. I actually have that in here. That doesn't normally stay in here, the heater. It was pretty cold around Christmas here just a few days ago, and these girls came in and they were soaking wet from rain, and so I put that in here just to try to keep them fairly warm. Normally I don't, and I've actually turned that off. It's unplugged. I actually had some meat chickens in this over the summer, so that's why you see my boxes aren't very good in here. They're just a couple of boxes I threw in on the floor, because until last week this had 5 roosters in it. 7 roosters actually. I traded 6 roosters for 10 hens, which was, man, that's a perfect deal. But I had to drive 2 hours to do it. So so that's this area. This is the little shelter my son made. It's just a couple of sawhorses with some tin on top of it, but it works. My son actually helped me make this as well. This is actually a dog house that my wife found on the side of the road. Somebody just let it fly off and left it there. So the top half was no good, but we salvaged the bottom half and we used that as a hay feeder. For a long time it just sat on the ground and the hay got wet, but now we kind of put a roof to it. My son's idea there too. So he's a big help on the farm. But watch out. This is my goats. That is actually something my son also built. It was basically like a lemonade type stand for my little boys. They never used it much, and so for the winter I took it and used it myself as a hay feeder for the goats. This is Clover. She was one of the first goats on the farm. She was born on St. Patrick's Day 2 years ago. This is Milkshake. that's the first pair I have. That's my two does. This is Smokey. Craig's kids got to name that animal for us. These are, obviously we're going to keep these guys around. That is Lucky, because he looks a lot like Clover. So Lucky is currently wearing the collar of shame. And I say that this is kind of an idea that I got from Greg Judy. So Greg Judy uses something similar to this for his livestock guardian dogs that want to get outside the fence. And this guy can straight up leap this fence with like no, I mean, just flat-footed, just leap the fence. It's pretty crazy. He's the only one that's done it. This has been the only thing I could find to stop him from doing it. I tried to put higher fencing or higher stuff around him. It didn't work. So that right there has helped him. He's got to drag that around. You can see he can still get around. But Clover is my sweet girl. All right. Again, this is all just mulch. So I'm really hoping this is going to be just a great garden area next year with all the stuff that the animals have added to this soil. But this is a shooting house that we have made into a goat house, if you will. My dad made this, and we had it on some property that he used to have, and we used to hunt on a lot. But it keeps the goats really warm. So excited about that. We have just a little mineral feeder in here. I need to do better and get some more minerals out here like Justin Rhodes has, but at this point I've not done that. But so when I bought this house and this barn, this is my house that I bought, and this is the barn. It was built originally in 1927, and I think I had junk accumulated in and around this barn from 1927 on. So there's all sorts of stuff. I had everything including the kitchen sink, but it's really a bathroom sink. But you see tires around here everywhere. I have tires everywhere, and I try to figure out creative ways to use tires. If you have any ideas of creative ways to use tires, I definitely could use those. Add those to the comments. But I took this old kitchen sink, plugged it up with just a plug, and this is one of the feeders for the goats. I have some bins that we've used as feeders. These aren't the best, but they work for now. I don't like to spend tons of money, and getting started on a farm, and other than Craig has helped me so much financially getting started with the farm, but I don't have like these big backers that can just pour in a bunch of money, and I ended up having to pour in more money into my house than I wanted to in the renovation. It may take us a little longer to get where we want to be, but that's okay. We're going to get there, and we're going to be financially healthy as we do. You can see that's the solar generator there for the sheep and goats, and that gives it a good little pop to those two fences right there. I'm going to take you up to the other part of our farm. This part of the farm over here is where the cows are, and this is where I normally have the sheep and goats running. Cows, I think I said it before, but they're not mine. One or two of them are mine. I actually partner with a guy there. It was going to be a long time before I'm Greg Judy ready for cows. So I sent this email and I said, hey Greg, look, I've got a guy that wants to put cows on my property. I'm a long way from being able to do it like you do it. And Greg Judy was kind enough to send me a response, and he said, look, go ahead and do it. The guy's probably going to teach you a lot about farming and about cows, and in the process, you'll get a little bit out of it. And it's been a great idea. I'm glad number one that I sent it to Greg, because he made me feel better about not necessarily doing regenerative agriculture, but he was right, because I've learned so much from my friend here who's really helped me. Actually, I get a lot out of it too. It's worked good for both of us. Actually, though, I do want to start to rotate these girls on a daily basis and try to do it a lot more like Greg Judy. I think the field will look so much better. But I will say this, just in the year that I've had this pasture, it looks so much better, having these cows on it. This is my deep bedding area. So this has super deep bedding. This is like a couple of truckloads really of mulch, and these girls have flattened it out. And guys, sorry guys, this is one of my roosters in here. So there's 18 girls in here. That's Copper. He's a Copper Moran. And that is Sesame there. He's an Asian breed chicken. So he's Sesame chicken. My idea and my goal is to pull out of this and sift out of here, just like Paul Gacci does with Back to Eden Gardening. Kind of sift out the big pieces and take that stuff back over and spread it out over top of my garden. One day, hopefully I can have enough to be able to spread out over my whole pastures and all that sort of stuff. But for right now, we're trying to spread these out over our garden. So this is our 2 rams that we have. They were also born on the farm this year. The dark one over there is the twin for May, and the other one was a single. He's a beast. But yes, we intend to provide meat for our family, and this is these guys will be processed in early spring. So these girls are normally following my sheep and goats. They're around them, behind them on this property out here. But again, during the wintertime, I'm using them to help spread this mulch, to help turn it, to help fertilize it, all that sort of stuff. But that is a mobile chicken tractor that I've done some modification to just while it's been in here. While it's been in here, I've been able to fix a few things. So what you'll learn from me is I do things, I get ideas from guys on YouTube, and I may run with it a different way, and I may have to come back and modify it. And this scaffolding was back here, but it wasn't set up like this. I cleaned it up, set it up, and I'm using it as my scrap lumber. Kind of have some scrap lumber on it, and it also have some of this clear plastic around it. It also serves as my sheep's kind of house, my little rams. They kind of sleep in there. So this is my little paddock here for the cows. They come in here. It's got a mineral block right there. This is the hay feeder, and then we roll a bale of hay in there every 4 days, and then I get some more mulch. But in here is my last set of chickens. There's only 5 hens in here and 1 male, but these are part of my original hens, original group. I actually thought he was a hen, but he's actually turned into a great rooster. He protects them. We had a neighbor's dog get in, kill some of our chickens, and I think we lost some to a car the very first day they got here. They got out, and so we've tried to keep them in here and keep them safe. Planning to turn into just kind of a corral for like my sheep and goats for when they're having babies. I can put them in here and know that they're safe and warm and all that sort of stuff, and then move the chickens over on the other side of the barn. It's pretty much Brave Bear Farm in a nutshell. We're gonna get back to some more videos. We're gonna have some build videos and just kind of daily farm chore videos and show you what we do. But for now, thanks for coming to the farm. I hope you enjoy the channel. Please help me out. Give me some likes down there, and if you can, please somebody be the first subscriber. If I know once one person subscribes, the other subscribers are going to come rolling in. So thank you so much, and have a good day. Bye.